Wherever may lead, paradise is where I am. One great use of words is to hide our thoughts. It is as impossible to translate poetry as it is to translate music. I am the best-natured creature in the world, and yet I have already killed 3, and of these 3 2 were priests. Such then is the human condition, that to wish greatness for one's country is to wish harm to one's neighbors. I have lived 80 years of life and know nothing for it, but to be resigned and tell myself that flies are born to be eaten by spiders and man to be devoured by sorrow. I cannot imagine how the clockwork of the universe can exist without a clockmaker. What can you say to a man who tells you he prefers obeying God rather than men, and that as a result he's certain he'll go to heaven if he cuts your throat? If you have 2 religions in your land, the 2 will cut each other's throats, but if you have 30 religions, they will dwell in peace. Madness is to think of too many things in succession too fast, or of one thing too exclusively. It is not inequality which is the real misfortune, it is dependence. The discovery of what is true and the practice of that which is good are the 2 most important aims of philosophy. Men argue, nature acts. In every province, the chief occupations, in order of importance, are lovemaking, malicious gossip, and talking nonsense. Reading nurtures the soul, and an enlightened friend brings it solace. Is it nothing other than the art of deliberately lying? Doctors put drugs of which they know little into bodies of which they know less for diseases of which they know nothing at all. All men are born with a nose and 10 fingers, but no one was born with a knowledge of God. All the reasonings of men are not worth 1 sentiment of women. All is for the best in the best of possible worlds. My soul is the mirror of the universe, and my body is its frame. The interest I have to believe a thing is no proof that such a thing exists. Uncertainty is an uncomfortable position, but certainty is an absurd one. If we do not find anything very pleasant, at least we shall find something new. Each player must accept the cards life deals him or her, but once they are in hand, he or she alone must decide how to play the cards in order to win the game. Opinions have caused more bills than the plague or earthquakes on this little globe of ours. When it is a question of money, everybody is of the same religion. Our wretched species is so made that those who walk on the well-trodden path always throw stones at those who are showing a new road. It is said that God is always on the side of the big battalions. Life is thickly sown with thorns, and I know no other remedy than to pass quickly through them. The longer we dwell on our misfortunes, the greater is their power to harm us. 4,000 volumes of metaphysics will not teach us what the soul is. Being unable to make people more reasonable, I preferred to be happy away from them. In general, the art of government consists in taking as much money as possible from one party of the citizens to give to the other. Fools admire everything in an author of reputation. No problem can stand the assault of sustained thinking. If there's life on other planets, then the Earth is the universe's insane asylum. I know many books which have bored their readers, but I know of none which has done real evil. There is a wide difference between speaking to deceive, and being silent to be impenetrable. Men use thought only as authority for their injustice, and employ speech only to conceal their thoughts. The greatest consolation in life is to say what one thinks. Now, my good man, this is no time to be making enemies. Let us read, and let us dance. These two amusements will never do any harm to the world. Love is a canvas furnished by nature and embroidered by imagination. It is far better to be silent than merely to increase the quantity of bad books. Beware of the words, internal security, for they are the eternal cry of the oppressor. It is not more surprising to be born twice than once. Everything in nature is resurrection. We all look for happiness, but without knowing where to find it, like drunkards who look for their house, knowing dimly that they have one. The instructions we find in books are like fire. We fetch it from our neighbors, kindle it at home, communicate it to others, and it becomes the property of all. One always begins with the simple, then comes the complex, and by superior enlightenment one often reverts in the end to the simple. Such is the course of human intelligence. Discord is the great ill of mankind, and tolerance is the only remedy for it. Whatever you do, crush the infamous thing, and love those who love you. History is the study of the world's crime. All men are by nature free. You have therefore an undoubted liberty to depart whenever you please, but will have many and great difficulties to encounter in passing the frontiers. It is forbidden to kill, therefore all murderers are punished unless they kill in large numbers and to the sound of trumpets. To the living we owe respect, but to the dead we owe only the truth. A man loved by a beautiful woman will always get out of trouble. I hold firmly to my original views. After all, I am a philosopher. Secret griefs are more cruel than public calamities. If God created us in His own image, we have more than reciprocated. Originality is nothing but judicious imitation. The most original writers borrowed one from another. What is tolerance? It is the consequence of humanity. We are all formed of frailty and error. Let us pardon reciprocally each other's folly. That is the first law of nature.